team whoop, team is restoring constitutional money. Constitutional money differs. From plantation script, in that it is money that is grown not from debt, and it is monies spent in government project that is asset backed, and is of a mathematically perfected economy. All at present know that the banksters' usury system at present is absolutely not safe and cannot nurture the world into the Aquarian age. Ongoing professional expertise in research is time-tested and can easily be shown how constitutional money benefits every aspect of the living spirit's life to be more in symbiosis. While monetary system is be more as love is, free to fly and not be damned. Therefore, once and for all time, the world sustainability and peace of the world's population and resources as a currency is engaged as love. Is in the system. . This relies upon constitutional money. Life food, agrarianism, is a reconditioning of the soil. and a lifehouse improves the quality of the living spirit's life, and preserves DNA for future generations, while leaving the earth to be, for the most species that can be, that the rest of the world can be left to be, as it is a nature park sanctuary. Eliminate usury and bring back constitutional remedy in the judicial system, and have the living spirit again only be joined with another living spirit, and not ever to be joined merely to the level of a corporation, by any means covertly, that transparency is existing, and encouraged across the earth. To reduce waste and have oversight where none exist at the moment in a whole range of topics including social welfare, medicine, agriculture, land, and sea, and resource management. The soil of the earth is the soil you're wrapped around in your own garden, and you must stop it from being eroded. The beloved owns all the fresh water and fresh air and not a private person. To own that for its own fictional being. To protect all water and stop and clear up all contaminatedness going into any river, lake, or ocean. Period. Lifehouse Insight. Lifehouse Insight. Life food agrarianism. To provide food for the living spirit's baby, and to have no toleratedness for exposure to harmful chemicals. Enjoy the benefit of life food agrarianism for a sustainable future. To draw upon what advantage exists. Where all grown be more in a symbiotic relation with all other species, and assist to help preserve the life colloidal biomass of Earth. Longevity. Peace of mind is a primary common denominator in having a long life. For this, I can say that when you live in a plantation system that can come under the fiction of law, a parentectomy incurs. You are put upon by a natural pain. You must learn how to integrate this loss, for otherwise it can kill you. This system's design is not human. It's a phantom's. And a phantom allowed to have its charge. Let this living spirit live in a system where this living spirit can only be joined with another living spirit. And awareness of a condition that could have existed, that by wrongful silent assent you could have only been considered a beast to be represented. You could have only been considered a beast to be represented. Mic check. Okay. You could have only been considered a beast to be represented. You have a right to contract and own property. And this living spirit is worthy of this living spirit's hire. Having a common union. Within the heart of this living spirit is mutually beneficial, uniting the living spirit to reform a republic that economic and Gender egalitarianism become the norm. And advantage of eye awareness is gleaned, leading to a longer life. Stop all exposure to synthetic poison. To own the air, own the air, water, and earth. Collectively, not to allow a private person or other fictional entity to own that resource, to wield in self-interest. Stop wars. And the sufferedness of animals. Increase the intake of life food nutrient to block and stop oxidation. Nature. Enjoy nature. While applying the necessary resource to protect and again cause natural canopy to be, and allow the Earth's weather pattern to return to normal, and stop the bankster manipulating that focus on natural resource management and maintenance. Increase the diversity of wilderness. And wildlife. Consumers. Enjoy being in eye awareness and being supported in a system of gender and economic egalitarianism. Have a sustainable ongoing future. If you follow the path of usury, you're going to die the slow, painful death of your ancestors. What is the eclipse movement? The Church of Eye Awareness is just one of many organizations behind Eclipse, a leaderless movement toward bringing back constitutional money, getting rid of usury, of course, and having common law right in the judicial system, because that's not there at the moment. Except in Uniform Commercial Code. And contract law. And assisting this living spirit to be aware of the political, financial, and judicial world one can choose to belong to in a society. Constitutional money can guarantee constitutional remedies, for instance, and federal income tax in such a system would not be needed. An Eclipse reform of banking assists all to cause an organic symbioticness come to be more over the earth, and an Eclipse label has been created to be displayed and is put to identify this concept. This living spirit only can come in peace and find a path together and can only protect you and is always considering your identity pristine, even though behaviors, though, might not have been. This living spirit is aware that only like can be joined with the like, the living with the living, and the dead with the dead. This Eclipse movement assists the underdog and to de-Manchurian the population. Economic egalitarianism is where the living spirit owns the growth of the money supply, collectively, and not a fictional entity. And not a fictional entity. Nor a private person can monopolize this, as is being done right now to control. This living spirit can only be joined to another living spirit. Ecclesiastically, as a maximum of law, and this living spirit can never be made automatically incompetent, and that this practice be stopped now, once, and for all time, that education materials be posted to inform the living spirit such. What is economic egalitarianism? Constitutional money is owned and grown by the living spirit, and not a private banker, who is Peter principled out that nothing is being looked after that is the public's. In such a system, everything will be destroyed if left to be such. There is no sustainability in that bankster system. You are presently living in all at the moment. Tell me if you've given permission to have the sky be altered, and the water, and you can tell me who is responsible for its pollutedness. Ongoing at the moment, until we have an eclipse movement of change. And all of us tick the box, yes. You want reform in banking. You may only be remained civically confined and trapped. Life food agrarianism is for a sustainable future. And rational use of renewable resource. And the conservation of precious element. And this living spirit's life quality is protecting this living spirit's DNA. And preserving life to have greater liberty, freedom, happiness, so you can assist where all naturally is made whole again. Now, once and for all time, in this age of Aquarius. Economic egalitarianism is where a system is existing that supports a mutual beneficialness, which is the definition of truth, where protected disclosure and protected conduct of official misconduct is protected from being retaliated against in a system of economic egalitarianism. Checks and balances exist. Egalitarianism checks and balances exist. Transparency exists in the world. So there is no reason for things not to be transparent. No one has to have manipulated, monopolized, and controlled the living spirit. A controlled, contrived money supply was a primary grievance in founding the United States of America. To declare independence away from being controlled by such a stated usury monetary system. In economic egalitarianism, there is no reason to manipulate. For money is created and circulated equivalent to the living spirit's product, service, capital money, flow requirement, and money is created and circulated necessary to this, and is spent by Congress on capital projects that is asset-backed. In this economic system, nothing would change much in banking, except money would not be created from debt, and the living spirit would own collectively money created. 4. A proportioned tax cannot exist, and is not of any common law right at all. And for one who is poor, no proportioned tax exists. Some amount can be immeasurable, and who is paying the piper is running the show.